Hey folks, welcome to another rugby talk episode. Is it a rugby talk or that's a rugby talk? It's a rugby talk because I'm not reviewing any game here. That's a rugby talk. Excuse the flu. I have an intense fever. So for this episode, I'm talking about Ireland. Why are they so successful? What contributes to their success? What are the key points in their system? So the first thing that comes into the whole discussion about Ireland success is their school system. Their rugby school system is very intact. Their rugby schools are very intact. It's very competitive. Schools like Methodist College in Belfast, Christian Brothers College in Cork. I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's Gabale College. It's in Galway. Gabale College in Galway. And the last one is Black Rock College in Dublin. This one is equivalent to our Grey College or Paul Roos in South Africa because of the amount of Irish internationals they've produced from the school. So their school system is very intact. They have a decent school system. And lately they've been sending a lot of scouts. They have an intense scouting system to track, to make sure that all the talent that is there is caught, is given the support they need to make it through to the senior level. So that's the first point. The school system is very intact in Ireland. The second point on the whole Irish success story is the provinces. The provinces have become very united. Leinster, Ulster, Connacht, and Munster. They've become very united. If you look at how these provinces play the past seasons, for example, they play a similar style of rugby. So it's almost like a message from the top manager, from the top president of IRFU that the provinces must play almost, they must be in harmony with the national team. So the provinces are united and are in harmony with the national team because they play almost the same style as the national team. So that's another big factor for them to be so successful at the international level. That's Ireland, of course. Provinces are united. But now, I looked back at the past managers of Ireland. I saw that in Leinster, they used to have Michael Cheika, but he didn't make it to the international, to the Irish setup, to the Irish national team. But I think his stint in Leinster did something, He's from Australia. He did something in Leinster, the winning culture, Not that they were not winning before, but, I think that combination of cultures from Australia and Ireland did something in Leinster. So before that, their manager, the Irish manager, I went back to what I remember. There was a guy called Declan Kidney from 2008 to 2013. During his time as the coach of Ireland, what I can tell you is that they won a Grand Slam in 2009 under his leadership, Declan Kidney, but they were not like the top. They were not like a top team like they are now. I remember Springboks used to go there for the end of year tours, and we would not have any fear. That you're gonna win. Even if you lose, you lose. Like, it's not like they were putting up any fights, to win. Well, they were passionate. They were passionate about their game, Irish, but they were not like the strongest side. No, they were not like England. So under Declan Kidney, they won the 2009 Grand Slam, but their world rankings were not that great. It was in 2010 they were 5th, and in 2012 they were 6th in the world rankings. So still, during his reign, they were not strong, Ireland, during his reign, Declan Kidney. I think the whole revolution started under Schmidt, who took over from Declan Kidney from 2013 to 2019. I think this guy is the one who brought in a great. Uh, he added on from I think from Michael Cheika, the winning culture from the players, because he came from Leinster and then was promoted to be the head manager of Ireland, Joey Schmidt. I think under him, the following year he was hired, 2014. They finished third in the world rankings. Um, Under Joey Schmidt, they won three Six Nation titles. In those three, there was one Grand Slam in 2018. They beat New Zealand in Chicago for the first time in over 100 years, I think. In 2018, they beat again New Zealand for the first time in Irish soil. So I think Joey Schmidt brought in something different to the Irish. He brought in, again, it's the winning mentality. The strict structures of coaching. Because Joey Schmidt is known for being very is very meticulous when it comes to analyzing his own opposition, when it comes to these training methods. So I think Joey Schmidt had a big hand in why Ireland are so successful. Um, and during his tenure, he hired Andy Farrell to be his defense coach. And during this time, I think they were already the Irish defense became they had the good defense. They were very aggressive in defense. Ireland. You could see that they were well organized. They're just a well-oiled machine during his time as the manager of Ireland. Um, so these wins, even the Springboks were losing. We started losing a lot to them, to Ireland. They're in Ireland, and after Joey Schmidt left, they hired Andy Farrell. You see, I think again it comes down to, I think I'm gonna add this point again, the succession plan. I think Ireland have a very good succession plan. They've adopted a succession plan whereby it's a system where the next manager comes from the ranks of the current managers in the national team. So you don't hire someone from outside, you get someone who was already in the system to continue with the coaching. I think that helps with the whole team. We can see in Ireland now it has helped. Well, it has worked it has always been working in New Zealand. New Zealand is known for using succession plan when they're hiring the new coaches. They take someone from their own system. As now they think they're gonna do with Joey Schmidt again in New Zealand. They're gonna pick him after Ian Foster gets sacked after the World Cup. They're gonna put in Joey Schmidt to be their new manager. So I think this whole succession plan of Ireland has also helped them to maintain that momentum, the dominance, the structures, the culture. Because Andy Farrell has not changed a lot from this team. Because the way they play, it's similar to how Joey Schmidt used to, but they are more nice on the eye. When you're watching them play, there's a lot going on. Under Joey Schmidt, they were more like pressure. They were a pressure team, applying pressure on the other team, just doing the basics correctly. Even now, Andy Farrell, they are doing the same thing, but he's added some spices there. They look happy. They are playing a different brand of rugby under him. But it's an addition to what they were playing before. Before he was the head. But then now after the succession plan, the last point that I have here is the man called David Nucifora, who I think David Nucifora is the director of rugby since 2014. Nucifora has done wonders at Ireland. I think he deserves the credit for Irish rugby success, because I think it's been unbelievable. When he came in, he adopted the New Zealand system of central contracts. So top Irish players don't leave Ireland. They stay in Ireland. They play for the provinces in Ireland. In the same time, keeping this talent, he made sure that the domestic teams, Leinster, Ulster, Connacht and Munster, had a lot of elite players, either from inside or from outside, to make sure that the competition in the squads is of the highest level. If you're playing with if you play for the top player, for example in your team you have a top player next to you, you're gonna strive to work more, to work harder, to improve your skill set, to improve the way you carry yourself in the system, the way you carry yourself in training, because of these elite players that you're playing with, you're competing with. And he also, so as I said, that he made sure that the players in the domestic teams are all elite. He made sure that the central contracts were in place for the top talent in Ireland, to make sure that the teams have all the right talent to compete and win and dominate in Europe. For example, Leinster has been winning a lot of Heineken Cups in the past seasons because of this central contract system that's in place for Ireland. Also, he's doubled down on the scouting system. He makes sure that they send out a lot of scouts to go and look for this talent, to make sure that no one is lost in the system, to make sure that all the good players in Ireland that they produce are given enough support to make it through to the top level. So yeah, he's the main man, this David Nucifora. He's the main guy who leads the whole thing in Ireland. Everything starts and ends with him. He's the main guy who dictates what happens, how the players go about, the direction of the whole system, the appointment of coaches, succession planning, the keeping of talent, who gets the contract, who must stay in Ireland, which contract does the province offer, which player gets to get the national contract, all those things. So it's Nucifora. He's the main guy, I think he's the main guy in this whole jigsaw puzzle that has really improved Ireland, has really brought direction that they didn't have before. I don't think they had this thing before, where they were very organized in their system, administration, performance, overall, the whole thing. David Nucifora is the guy. But apart from these structures in place in Ireland, for example, other teams can copy this system and use it in their own environment. But I think some systems work for different nations, some systems don't work for different nations. For example, here in South Africa, our players play overseas and we're fine with it. We don't have a problem when they come together in the national team, where you find that there's no togetherness and whatever. Our players gel well when they go to the camp, they become one thing. So I think it depends on the country's culture. In South Africa, we have a culture of togetherness. So our players find it really easy. If they come from Montpellier, from Toulon, from the Lions, from the Cheetahs, from the Sharks, from Japan, when they come to the Springbok camp, it becomes very easy for them to become one union, to become one team. So the culture in the team is very good. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your evening. Thanks.